Hello and welcome to Rogue Voice, conversations that inspire and connect. I'm Tiffany Cooper.
And I'm Jessica Gomez. We've had a couple of months now of shutdown, and I'm really excited to say that things are starting to open up now. Jackson County got the go-ahead, the approval for phase 1 opening, and so that was just last week, and I'm starting to get calls now from got a call from my kids' gym that they do their little gymnastics, and that's opening. I'm just super excited. Tiffany, I don't know, it has been a long a stay-home situation for us.
I can't agree more. I am so ready to get out of this house and do some event and just to connect with other people, even, with social distancing. I'm ready to go to a restaurant, follow all the rules, and just have that experience of going out to eat. And that, I'm looking, things we take for granted. I totally, completely took that for granted beforehand,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's, I have reservations tonight.
Oh, reservations. Where?
We're going to Elements.
Oh, how fun. How fun. I need to get on ball and do that as well. Well, with us today to help us provide some insight into reopening process and what the local businesses should expect this summer, we have Angela Wood, Director of Sales and Sports Development of Travel Medford. And we also have Pam Hammond Morris, the Paddington family of stores. Welcome both to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. We are excited today, but I know that it has been a really challenging situation for all of our small business owners, especially those downtown businesses that, really are relying on people walking around and out having fun. And it's been really a lot to kind of go through over the last few months. And I know, Angela, your team have been working really hard. You guys are really tasked with promoting our region, and at a time when this is going on, your team has got to be really firing on all cylinders. How are you doing personally? How has this been for you?
Oh, it's been challenging, like it has for everybody else, and tourism has taken one of the hardest hits of any industry, but we remain passionate about the Rogue Valley, and that keeps us going, and we remain passionate for those who live here and that for those that still want to come visit here.
Yeah.
And how do you, I just want to piggyback on that, Angela, how is your agency and you encouraging the community to rally again, to move forward in a creative way?
Well, we've had to pivot a lot of our plans and marketing, but as far as the people that live here, we're still promoting events, even though they might be virtual events. We're still encouraging people to, just do things wisely, but still do things, still get out and do those things.
So Pam, I'm curious to know, because you own several stores. So can you tell us a little bit about Paddington Station and what keeps you inspired during these difficult times?
Tiffany, I'd love to. Paddington Station's been in downtown Ashland since 1973.
Wow.
We are going to make it to 50. We are. And we have 3 other stores in downtown Ashland, too, that we have developed over the last 10 years. And 2 of those other 3 stores are up and functioning along with Paddington Station now. And we are definitely a family business. The whole Hammond family works at Paddington Station. Plus, we have just a family of employees that I love and cherish and have been with us for 10, 15, 20 years. And it's so important to bring our family back together. And that has been the underlying reason for why we are so passionate about retail and bringing it back to downtown Ashland.
Gosh, I love that. 50 years. That is really
incredible. Isn't that wonderful?
I'm just, cool.
And we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
So I would imagine, like a lot of business owners, you're trying to think of, new things to sort of, get you through this time and really look at how to make that adjustment. So Can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the more creative things that you are implementing in your business?
Oh, Jessica, I would love to. This has been the most incredible journey for myself and my family and my workers, because retail we knew on March 10th does not exist today. And we have totally changed the way we're doing business, and that is hard. It's hard to pivot, and I like to use the analogy of being a gazelle. We are not an elephant, and I'm not going to say that Macy's is, but you know, they just kind of plod along, and we very quickly identified a need for Easter, and we did 150 custom Easter baskets. There was about 4 of us on team that practiced social distancing, and our website wasn't up yet, and we were on the phone, we were texting. People would say, I have a 3-year-old girl and she likes pink unicorns and my price range is $40, and put together my Easter basket. And then we proceeded to deliver it to them in our car. And all of a sudden we had a new business. We quickly then started putting stuff on Facebook. We started doing Facebook Live events, and then our biggest thing we did was get our website up, and we are now selling product on there. We have about probably 400 items on there, and we're putting up on about 500 a week. So it will look very different in the next few weeks. And we have just been so challenged and put so much energy into making the business move forward. It's hard. It's hard.
I can imagine. I mean, it sounds like you are doing a phenomenal job. In fact, a girlfriend of mine said that she got some of her kids those baskets, and they absolutely loved them. What a cool thing to do for.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun to work within people's budgets. And, you know, occasionally you get someone going, hey, I want a $200 Easter basket. And you go, hey, that's great. But then you get the next person and I've got $20. And I go, okay, I'll do it. I'll get the basket.
You got to be diverse. I love that.
I love that. It's almost like how I mean, I feel like you're just a gift to the community. Really, you've pivoted, you've shifted, and you are serving a need, right?
I feel we, in our own way, we're a necessary business, although you could argue that. But we were so happy to open our doors last Friday. That was just such a collective sigh of relief to be able to open the doors to the public again.
That's hopeful news, hopeful.
So I'd like to just talk to Angela for a little bit, because I know that your team is really, you're in the business of promoting Medford and the surrounding region. How are you guys looking at navigating the fears of travel and restrictions and, you know, the shelter-in-place mandates and sort of all of the economic impact of that? How are you handling that?
Well, we are, we're shifting our marketing focus, being very inspirational, encouraging people to postpone, don't cancel, still plan, still have something to look forward to, but we're very well positioned here in the Rogue Valley because of our open space. And people are looking for that right now. They're not looking to go to crowded areas for their getaways. They're looking for that open space, nature, which is abundant here. So we're very fortunate about that. We are marketing more to Oregonians than ever before. Like, come discover your state. Come find out what Southern Oregon is all about. Maybe you've not been here before, and you're going to be very pleasantly surprised at what you're going to find here. We partner with all the other destination marketing organizations, which is what we are. We partner with Ashland, Central Point, Eagle Point, Jacksonville, even Grants Pass, because collectively we are strong. We are the Rogue Valley, and we are what people want to come see, not just one individual place. So Medford is a great launch pad to stay and then go out and explore everything there is to see in the Rogue Valley. So that's kind of our focus right now.
And also, I'm just curious, Angela, what have some of the questions from the community have been when they reach out to the organization at this time? What are some of the requests that you're getting on a daily basis?
What's open, what's not open, of course. And we're thrilled that phase 1 has happened and things are being able to open up. We did have some hotels that were closed for a while, but they're opening back up and seeing more visitors come through too. But I think that's mostly what we're hearing is when do you think it's going to get better? And of course we don't know, but that's the question we get. When can we start getting out and about? When can we go on the trails? When can we, go out to eat? We do all the things that we wanted.
Because I'm sure that changes. I mean, weekly, you have to be on it. I mean, right? The information changes weekly for both of you.
Oh, absolutely. I will say, the Travel Medford is a department of the Medford Chamber, and they have a great website page called Southern Oregon Strong, which they keep up to date with all of this information for people that are looking for the answers to those questions. So that's a great resource.
Gosh, I love that. Southern Oregon Strong. That is
absolutely
so great. What a great thing to put out there. And I think, bringing people together at this time is really, really important.
Right. Staying positive.
Yeah, ways that we can support each other. And, it's been tough and it's going to continue to be tough. Pam, I think that there is a lot of, ways that we can support the community. What are some of the innovative ways that you're thinking about and that other local business owners are thinking about that can help shape Ashland in the future and lessen its dependence on things like theater and some of the areas that are sort of shut down during this time?
Yes, we need to come together, particularly downtown, to get the word out that we are opened and it's easy to social distance there because our sidewalks are wide, many of our stores are larger, the restaurants, many of them have outdoor seating on them, and we're just getting started. We're still crawling through glass here, and we're getting up. And every day I see more and more stores opening downtown and more restaurants with start dates happening to them. And it's such a revival, a renaissance, and I feel like my customers were so grateful all this week to come in and just browse and just relax and do the chit chat that they like to do. And many of my customers have come in every day, and I was like, do you really need something more? And they're just out, and we've had pretty crappy weather. Friday was good, but then, we got the rain we needed, but it kind of kept the people inside. So I think that every day will get better. And the more of us that are opening up will allow people to feel they can come downtown and it's worth their time and effort to see what's going on.
That's awesome, Pam. I am curious to know, I feel like you are in a very fortunate position. I mean, you've been in the community for a long time, and you've been in business, and people know you, and you're great, and you have loyal customers. What about your, I wouldn't say competitors, but other retail friends, shall we, that are hanging on by a thread? Literally, how are you encouraging them when you may have conversations where they say, I might have to close next month? How are you having these conversations, and how are you encouraging them?
There's a group of retailers, and we do talk. Before we closed down, my daughter and I, Kelly, walked around on a Saturday. It was Saturday before we were closed down, and just talked to every retail store in downtown that was open. And it was around 60 stores that we talked to. And it was so wonderful. They were so appreciative to hear what was going on, and they had questions. And since then, many of those people we talked to on that day have called me back and said, hey, what are you doing for your spit guard for at your cash wrap? How are you getting your hand sanitizer? What are you going to do about clothes that you're trying on in the dressing room? So there's this talk, and we're all kind of chatting amongst each other because we can't get through this, and there's too many questions and too many things we've never thought of before. It's just this whole new world that we've got to adapt to, or we will fail. So I think the stronger we are together, and I hope my retail friends know that they can talk to me, and I will talk to them when I have questions too.
That's great that you rally together, that sense of community, pulling together, because you can't survive alone. We all are in it together. We all have to pull each other up.
It's the whole enchilada of walking downtown Ashland. It's got to feel like it's an event.
Absolutely.
I would think that like the diversity of experiences, are going to make a big difference when we, as we kind of live a little bit more into this and find new ways to move forward. And I think being creative about what that looks like is going to be really helpful. Angela, what do you think some of the investments, what investments should we be looking at making here in our region to kind of help diversify sort of that experience for people who are driving here to have a great experience in Southern Oregon?
Great question. I think first and foremost, support your local businesses, because without them, we will not have a destination to travel. We need those stores like Paddington Station, and we need the Rogue Valley Zip Line, and we need restaurants, and we need these unique things that make the Rogue Valley special, because without them, as I said, the visitors won't come. So support your local businesses first and foremost. Another investment, I'm very pleased to say that the ballot measures were passed in this past election, so that we will move forward with building the Medford Sports and Events Complex.
Oh, wonderful.
Much needed facility that will be a game changer for us, for residents as well as for visitors that are coming here for that. So that's a great investment by the community, and will continue to be, because it'll take at least 3 years for the thing to be built. But we have other really fascinating things here that need attention and investment, such as the Gold Hill Whitewater Center. It's a whitewater park, a natural course right out in Gold Hill on the Rogue River that could potentially host the kayak competition and rafting competition for the Olympics. So
that would be amazing.
Wow. That would be incredible.
LA Olympics. Like, if you're a competitor, a rafting competitor, kayaker, would you rather go down a cement canal course, or would you want the real river to go down?
Absolutely.
Would you really do that? Go down a cement course like that?
They make them. And then LA doesn't have any water to put in them. So
yeah.
Old Hill Whitewater Center, yes. So
yeah, that would draw a lot of people. That would keep people staying, and that would just, I mean, once you can host something like that, you could potentially host the Olympics. The town will be boosted in many positive ways.
Exactly. So, and support your local wineries too. That's important.
Speaking of wineries, I just want to ask you too, because you have a pulse of what's going on in terms of businesses there. What's some of the challenges and some of the good things have come out of this with the wineries that you've talked with and keep an eye on? Good things that come out of it is we've all had to communicate more, and we've all had to rely on each other more. Just as Pam was talking about, going around and talking to her fellow merchants. It's a time where we need each other. We need each other's support, ideas, all of that. So I think that's the really good thing that's come out of it. Wonderful.
Do you feel, summertime, especially for Ashland area, Jacksonville, some of these areas where lots of people, they come, they want to see theater, they want to experience the outdoors. Pam, do you have any sense of what that might look like this summer? I know that we took a couple of good hits, right, due to the smoke and what was going on in the last few years. Do you have a sense of what that might look like right now, or?
It's devastating that OSF will not open for the season. It's just a gut punch on top of everything else. And it would really easy have said, it's done, we're over. But as I said, I'm gonna be there when I'm 50. And I think we just have collectively market to the 50-mile radius of people that live around us, and hope to have them make a stay vacation day in Ashland or Jacksonville or Gold Hill or any of those places where there's things to explore and things to do, and we just need to get the word out there, and we need to keep it safe. We need everyone needs to wear their mask. We need to play by the rules. And I think if we do this, our summer will be not what it would have been if OSF were here and we were in full swing with Brit and all those other things that make our valley exceptional. We're going to have to rely on what we can, and wineries, restaurants, gift shops, and our outdoor events are going to be what's going to keep people in our area coming outside, because they're not going to travel to Paris this year. They're not going to go to Australia. They're probably not even going to go to Cancun. So they're going to have fun in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. It's like learning to have fun in your backyard, essentially, you know. But I think there's something beautiful about relying not on just the theater too. So it's almost in a sense that this is a new model, right? New paradigm shift, which now we have to think of new ways of going forward. Even when the theater does get back on its feet, that now we know we can't just rely on the theater. Now we've got some type of other infrastructure, right? So if something else comes along, that we can weather the storm in a positive way.
And we've got to be strong, and we got to do it together.
Absolutely. Tiffany, I think we have a question from the audience.
Let's see. Oh yes, we just got this. It's so funny. I've been checking this, and we just got it. Literally, as I speak, we get a question. Yes, we have a viewer question. You've talked about some of the new marketing principles you've implemented in response to COVID. I'm sure this gave you the push you needed for those items and you were going to eventually get to. What is working well that you are planning on keeping in the future after we're back to the normal? This is for both of you. We'll start with you, Pam.
Sure. Everything we did, I will continue with. Next year, we will do custom Mother's Day and Easter again. We now do 2 Facebook Live events a week on Tuesday and Thursday. People love them. Who knew they wanted to hear Pam and Kelly talk for 20 minutes?
Of course.
Mother-daughter bantering. And that's been wonderful. Our text and our curbside pickup, we're going to continue with. Free delivery in Ashland. It's not my favorite thing to do, but the customers want it, so we're going to continue doing. I know Ashland all over now. I know all the street names and where to go, and I've delivered just about everything. But the most exciting thing we've done is our e-commerce website, and I am just so proud of it, and it's just going to keep getting better. And so you are absolutely right, question person, that we needed to shift and we needed to do these things, and this caused us to do them. And I'm so proud of my team for making it all happen.
That's awesome. And you, Angela?
Well, Pam's right. Your website is a huge tool, especially right now with so many people home and looking at their devices a lot during the day. So it's given us an opportunity to really expand our website, put a lot more content on there for the visitors. So that's one thing that's been great. Another shift that we made was we typically host travel writers here in the area that come and then they write about all the wonderful things here and get it out to their people. But we recently hosted a virtual webinar with 21 travel writers throughout the U.S.
Oh, wow.
About Medford, Rogue Valley, and our local wines, the 4 different wine trails that we have. And they were fascinated. They were encouraged to buy a bottle of wine from a list of Rogue Valley wines, so that during this webinar, they were sampling the wine as we were talking about it. They loved that. Wow. But it provided an opportunity for them to learn much more about us, and they were very inspired to come here. So it had great results.
And what were they really fascinated by? You mentioned earlier. What were some of the elements that they found intriguing?
By our diversity, and that we can produce more than 70 varietals of wine here, and that's really unusual. And we're undiscovered still, a little bit undiscovered, right? And every writer is looking for that next big thing that they're going to discover and help get out there. So That's
covered we are, but
yeah.
because I was in New York last year, so I still have family that lives there, and so we went to this little wine bar, and it was in this little town called Sayville. It's on Long Island, really, beautiful little kind of, coastal area, and we sat down, and it's wine and cheese, and my uncle, my aunt, and everybody's there. And we look on the wine board, and everyone's like, oh, what do we want? Oh, it's summer, we'll get a rosé. We ordered the rosé, and my husband goes to open it, and he's like, looks at the top, he's like, huh, and he tips the bottle of wine, and on the very top of the wine is that outline of Oregon.
Of course.
Very cool.
And I'm like,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great to see that there. It was great wine too.
I bet that happens more often than not. You go to a place, and it's like when I moved away to Minneapolis, and I was getting all this mail and deliveries from Harry and David. I'm thinking, I used to live in the region. Now I'm having it delivered when I could just actually go there. So the things you take for granted, like you mentioned, Angela. A while back, you had mentioned something about, not on the show, but previous conversation about cheese, and having been in the Rogue Valley and having some of the best cheese that people discover when they travel here and don't know about.
I bet a lot of people don't know that the world's best cheese, voted by the international cheese people of the world, whoever they are, is right here at the Rogue Creamery. And that means out of all the cheeses, not just blue cheese, all the cheddars and parmesans and all the cheeses in the world, Rogue Creamery got first prize. That's pretty remarkable. So
that is, I mean, in our area too, we have the chocolate festival. I mean,
chocolate festival is amazing.
Chocolate here, that's incredible.
I know I had friends in New York that said, friends in New York and friends in Alaska that said, how do I get to the chocolate festival in Oregon? Because I didn't know, and I'm just so proud to say that it's one of the best. I've been to 2 chocolate festivals, and this was a really great chocolate festival in the Valley, and I think it gets better every year. It really does.
For sure.
So, I mean, that's a reason to come to this beautiful region.
Right.
One of the things that I was really glad to see, and maybe just the last comment, maybe Angela, you can talk a little bit about this, but the event center, I know it's something we've needed a long time, and I feel like we have great wine, we have amazing food, we have great theater, but when it comes to kids outside of like the hiking and fishing kind of experience, which is wonderful, there's not a lot for kids to kind of as a destination for them to experience here. Can you talk a little bit about how that might change with the rec center, with the new center that's going in?
Absolutely. We have a deficiency in courts here in Medford for all the basketball players, volleyball players, a deficiency in pools, of course. We have swim teams that have to share 4 lanes at the local YMCA for every school. So it's going to help so much for our local athletes to be able to play sports and get involved. And that's so healthy for kids. But it's also, like I said, a game changer for destination. There will be tournaments that we've never been able to hold before because we haven't had the space. 100-team volleyball tournament that will be here, potentially pickleball tournaments that hundreds of people are going to be coming to this event center, and it's very exciting for locals but for visitors as well. And the aquatic part of it and the pool, the recreational pool, gives kids something to do, and it's indoors, so it'll be accessible all year long. Very exciting. It's super exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I want to thank you, Angela and Pam, for such a great conversation and for helping us all of us understand the challenges facing in this local economy in our beautiful Rogue Valley. I'm sure our audience appreciated hearing your unique perspective just as much as Jessica and I. So remember to tune in to Rogue Voice Online every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and connect with us on YouTube channel and Facebook, where you can send a message or leave a comment. We want to hear from you. But next week, we will be talking about the cannabis industry in Oregon and how it is shaping our local economy. So tune in. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.